I want to thank all of you for being here today. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to some of the other elected officials who have joined me. Councilmember Mina Johnson, Councilmember Brett Withers, Councilmember Erica Gilmore. Thank you all for being here as well. I also want to thank those who are behind me, who are the members of my staff, because along with myself and the rest of Metro Nashville government, we are committed to seeking justice for all. Last week, we all saw the shootings. Those heart-wrenching tragedies were painful to experience as a mayor, as a mother, and as an American. But they have served to sharpen my focus and bring sometimes uncomfortable issues to the forefront of our national conversation. And while these incidents didn't happen here in Nashville, the sentiment and the frustration and the sadness is shared across the country, and I share it. Chief Anderson and our Metro Nashville Police Department do commendable work on a daily basis to bring our community together. Whether it's attending the community meetings that they have, 2,453 in 2015, mentoring boys and girls, volunteering to help clean up the community, or treating protesters with dignity and respect in ways that other cities have not, the men and the women of our MMPD are to be commended. Chief Anderson continues to demonstrate leadership in the work he's doing by implementing progressive policies that are leading the nation. And for that, the Nashville community owes him a debt of gratitude. Because we're committed to the Nashville community, and we know that we are a city of diverse backgrounds, experiences, we've also integrated bias and de-escalation training into our program for new police recruits, in addition to also partnering with the Metro Human Relations Commission to develop a diversity seminar that helps to introduce officers into the training for the diverse communities that they will serve and protect. In fact, recently, 26 members of the MMPD have been certified in implicit bias training, and they will soon be instructing their fellow officers, veterans who may not have received the training as new recruits, to ensure that they have the necessary compassion and empathy to serve the community to the best of their abilities. This training, helping individuals to understand and overcome the biases that we all have, is something that I would also like to see taken throughout Metro government for all employees who work with the public. We have also instituted de-escalation training so that police officers use their weapons or physical force as a last possible resort when dealing with tense situations. So far this year, there has not been a single officer-involved shooting with another person. And I believe that is in part testament to the leadership and vision of Chief Anderson and to the training that our police officers receive. In the past, our Metro Police Administration has taken steps to diversify the police department. Now, while we have fallen short in our desire to have a police force or a Metro government that fully reflects the city it serves, we are also making progress on that goal. And with the help of my Chief Diversity Officer, Michelle Hernandez-Lane, we intend to make even more progress in the months and the years to come. And on August 2nd, the MMPD will be participating in the National Night Out Against Crime to strengthen the neighborhood spirit and to further strengthen relationships with the police and the community. And we encourage community groups to sign up and participate in this very important event. I think it's important to talk about the good and based on the work that we have done and the leadership of Chief Anderson. And it would be easy for me to just simply say that this isn't happening in Nashville. But it's also important to recognize and acknowledge the many voices of the people in Nashville who are hurting, who are fearful, who are angry, and want to see their government address their concerns in a meaningful way. In the past week, I've heard from many people, not just those in the community who have sent us emails or made calls or sent messages via social media, but also from the folks who stand behind me, some of my staff who see pictures of young black men killed on the news and worry for themselves, for their sons, and for their daughters, as well as those who believe that we as a city need to recognize and address the issue of bias in our society. I cannot promise a shooting incident or a killing like the one in Baton Rouge or Falcon Heights or many other cities throughout the nation will never happen in Nashville. But what I can promise is if something happens, we have built a system whereby voices will be heard in a meaningful way, and that we have a strong chief of police who's committed to appropriate accountability and to truth. We can work to shape our city to be a model of unity, not division, a model of justice and peace. Earlier this week, former President George W. Bush eloquently said this: "Americans have a great advantage. To renew our unity, we need only to remember our values. We have never been held together by blood or background. We are bound by things of the spirit, by shared commitments to common ideals. At our best, we know we have one country, one future, one destiny. We do not want that to be a unity of grief, nor do we want that to be the unity of fear. We want that to be the unity of hope, affection, and high purpose. These are words I believe can serve to focus our nation and our city to be better, to ourselves, to each other, to our police officers, to men and women who have been left behind in the progress that we often celebrate in our city." Just yesterday, President Barack Obama held a meeting with elected officials, police, and community leaders to have an honest conversation about race relations in our society. After that meeting, the president said, "I want to ask you, no matter who you are or where you live, to do whatever you can to foster these conversations and to find solutions for your community." And that reminds me of the story of the Good Samaritan. Many of us know that story. You had an injured man, and the Good Samaritan stopped to help him. But there's something that happens before that story, when that point, and that is where there are two other people who not only cross the road to get to the other side, to get away from the injured man, they don't render aid either. In order for our community to come together, we must first draw near so that we can actually be part of the solution. And that comes with community engagement. And with that in mind, I want us to come together, to draw near to each other, to talk about our problems, to think of solutions that we haven't tried before, to understand how we are the same, how we are different, and how we can celebrate and embrace those differences in a way that promotes tolerance and understanding. Next Saturday, July 23rd, we will start this process with a group of 100 community organization leaders coming together for a summit focused on criminal justice issues in the African American community. Much like the Youth Violence Summit, we don't hope just to hear people and make them feel heard, but to actually hear them in a meaningful way. This summit will be facilitated by Lipscomb University's Institute of Conflict Management, and it will be designed to have 15 small group discussions engaged in constructive dialogue. While my office is out there identifying some of the community organizations, we also want to hear from the community what other organizations should be present. If you would like to nominate an organization to be included, there will be a form on our website to do that. After that initial meeting, we plan a broader conversation in our community. In September, it will involve hundreds of Nashvillians of all races, religions, ethnicities, genders, and political beliefs, all of them coming together for a similar meeting to talk about what they've discussed earlier and to get even more perspectives. While issues about policing and criminal justice will certainly be an important part of the dialogue, I believe we also need to look at broader societal issues related to jobs, poverty, and empowerment. We need to be looking at quantitative data, both qualitative and quantitative, to show what's working, what isn't working, and how we can work together to bring meaningful and positive change. This will be an opportunity for the community to share our stories, your experiences, your truth. These meetings will not be a starting line or a finish line in our goal of racial and social justice in our city or in our society. This is, unfortunately, a long race for our country to run, and frankly, it's sometimes hard to see the finish line. But we can't stop running this race. We can always be moving ahead, 1 yard, 1 foot, 1 inch at a time, as we seek the ultimate goal of a more just and equitable society for all. Thank you.